Hey there, welcome back guys. In this video we're going to be going over the Osmo Action 4, the waterproof camera. This is going to be an underwater experience that's right for you. It's a great camera and I'm pretty sure you want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. So without any further ado, let's take a dive, no pun intended, and check it out. Come. I have to say the colors are phenomenal when working with the Osmo Action 4. Outside, you can see everything is so crisp. We've got the blues, we've got a little bit of the greens. When you look at the ocean, you can see the sand clearly. The audio comes out great. Look at the bird over there. I think it's some sort of seagull. The kids just had a blast. Of course, they're able to look at that right over there. So you're able to listen to that too. You're able to capture things, and the best part of my experience was hearing the water splash. That whole bubbly sound that you hear right now, when every time the camera goes underwater. The only problem I had with it was that, you see, there she is right there, but the only way to get a clear perspective of what you're looking at under the deep blue sea is basically in a swimming pool. As you can see, it doesn't really the water looks clear, but it's not as clear. I felt like Captain Abe from Moby Dick, because every time I saw a fish above the water, I was like, oh my god, I gotta capture that. And as you can see, the visibility, it's not the camera's fault, but is better above water than below water. And as you can see, the visibility is probably about a foot or two around there. Other than that, that's it. But it's great to capture the experience of the vacation. As you can see right here, it's just phenomenal. You can see the waves coming in. You can see the seaweed. Thank goodness there's no algae, but sometimes that happens in the ocean. But in this case, it was just seaweed. Boom. See, I like that sound. And then I saw something. I was like, oh wow, there's something there. And every time I saw something, I was like, oh, I gotta put the camera underwater. And again, I felt like Captain Abe from Moby Dick, because I was on the hunt for the fish that never was. And then, every time I saw it, I swear it was this big. It was really long, but I just didn't have the opportunity to capture it the way you see in those DJI action camera, or even any underwater action camera video. I can say I did have the advantage of having an underwater camera, because as you can see, it's phenomenal. And I saw some guy with a camcorder on the beach. I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. And then probably an hour or two later, when I started walking down the beach, when I turned around and went back, he was basically trying to air out his camcorder, one of those camcorders, and get it to dry, because it was clogged with sand and water, because apparently he was trying to do the same thing I'm doing right here, but just not possible with the camcorder. And there's Ivy right there. She's having a blast. She loves the water. It was hard to get her out. She was like, I'm staying. So she just swam all day while I was on the hunt for that underwater experience to capture a fish, because there were lots of fish in the water. Amazing. It was just phenomenal, but I just could not capture it. Like right about here, somewhere down there was a fish above the water. When you look in the water with the camera, nothing. And even if you have goggles and were able to swim, you're going to get the same somewhat visibility. But in the end, it's a great camera, don't get me wrong. As you can see, you can't do this with any other camera. I'm sure the GoPro will have a similar or same experience. But the camera lasted a good course of the day. But again, my favorite is the watering sound. But when it comes to maintenance, I recommend rinsing it after each and every swim, because what'll happen is the holder, the mount, does get corroded, and it just sort of like starts to rust within 24 hours. So you really need to rinse this thing after each use. And she's just like, take a picture of me. At least we were able to get her. A little cloudy, but that's just the ocean. And you'll see a bit later on when we actually take the adventure into the swimming pool, which is just phenomenal. And it handled really well because it's cooler. There's a lot of times with these action cameras, when you're using them to vlog, if you're not moving, the camera burns out, like it just overheats, and it's not the best experience when it comes to that experience you're supposed to get with an action camera. But as long as you're moving, you're fine. As you can see, I'm moving. Of course, it's in the water, so it's impossible to overheat. And I actually got better battery life with the camera. With the other, look at that bird over there flying, really nice. I was looking for moments like that to capture, and here I am underwater. Here, there go the waves. This is really nice, and this just makes great B-roll footage. Remember, like anything, it's just a little montage of the vacation that's happening, and that I was trying to capture and also experiment. I was hoping for that deep blue sea up there goes some little minnows or little fish, but above water they just look so much better. Underwater it's a little bit cloudy, and the bigger the fish, the further down they are. But again, the only way to capture that big fish is probably, look at that. I love this sound. There goes that seagull again. So the audio, it's just going to pick up the audio. Underwater in the ocean. So you're either going to do a voiceover or music. But as you can see, I'm just fascinated by it because I've never taken a camera underwater before. I've always taken a camera in the water, but usually you have a little baggie, a little Ziploc thing, and you close the bag and seal it, and then pray it doesn't leak. Or even with the iPhone, even though they say it is waterproof, but I doubt it. Maybe I'll save that for another video. But as you can see, everyone's a little nervous right there because they're like, "Oh my God, they saw this huge fish," and they're like jumping on mom, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't wait, I gotta see it." But I just couldn't capture it. I was more fascinated while everyone else was scared. I'm like, okay, let me turn the camera. I was like, I gotta get this fish. I gotta get this fish. But, no luck. So I spent a lot of time going up and down the shore looking for fish that I can capture with the camera. And here I am just trying to change the settings, but nothing seems to be working. And of course, the salt water does burn your eyes. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at that! What's over there?" And now everyone's like, "Okay, take a picture of me." And then they're like, "All right, so here we go on 3, 2, 1," because after all, it is a family vacation. All right, not the hunt for Red October. And where we go? Yep, and there I am again. I'm like, I gotta find this fish. And there was something over there, but that freaked me out. I wasn't sure what that was. I wasn't sure if it was a snail or some sort of sea creature. And the last thing you want to do is step on something like a sea urchin. But there aren't any over here because there's no coral in this part of the world that we were on. But as you can see, here I am setting up the camera again. And the Osmos Action is a really good camera if you want that underwater experience, because as you can see, the clearness is going to be determined on the water that you are swimming in. And this is just great. And again, remember, always rinse off the camera after any underwater experience because it will corrode the camera, and overnight, within hours, you'll see the corrosion build up, which was stunning to me on my end. But all in all, there we are in the pool, and this pretty much sums up the underwater experience for those looking for that clear. There you go, underwater action camera. Kind of neat, huh? I like it. I had a great experience with it, and I was able to actually enjoy the action camera, and get the full experience and how it was meant to be enjoyed. Because using it for what I'm doing now for the podcast or streaming or the videos and the blogs, it's not really optimal because it overheats after some time, and you're really working under the gun when you're using it for this experience, opposed to using it on the water, cycling, or taking it on an adventure. Because it's an action camera, there is no 1 hour action shot. Action shots are usually, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. But I like the quality of it. I like how it's compact. And I also like the fact that it's waterproof and you can take it on the water. It has an amazing experience. Of course, I felt a little bit like I said, Captain Abe from Moby Dick, because I kept looking for the fish. But if the water is crisp and blue, you're going to get that in here, which is just great. And like I was saying, people on the shore brought their camcorders, and on the way back, coming back from walking down the shore, they were just cleaning out the sand and the water, because sometimes the tides come in so quick. So you put your camera or camcorder on the sand, and within hours or minutes, the tide comes in, and you're like, oh my God, what happened? By then, it's too late. Anyway, I hope this video helped you. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below, or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.